So, good afternoon, friends, and Thai Secretariat, friends Srini and other fellow charter members. Let me come here. First of all, I want to tell you that I am not a guru by any means. Okay, definitely there were gurus before me. Okay, Nandita ji was a professor turned entrepreneur, so she will fit the bill. I'm just an entrepreneur. I'm trying to share my experience and probably some thoughts, and hopefully it should help. So I was asked to speak on bootstrapping for success. I honestly did not think much about bootstrapping while I was building my enterprise. So started reading about actually what is bootstrapping. Okay, so the dictionary says that bootstrapping a business is, actually from building the business from your own personal finances or from the operating revenues and several others, as this business dictionary says. Okay, it is too complex for a simple entrepreneur. So I try to see what's a simple explanation. Okay, then I see that bootstrapping means relying entirely on one's efforts and resources, which I had to do because there was no other option actually. Not that if somebody would have given me money, I would have happily taken. But for what I was trying to do, there was I was pretty new in US and trying to establish my own organization. And so what did I do? And people talk about all this, funding and somebody was asking me recently after my exit, not recently, in 2013, that Manohar, how much money you started your business with? So I've told him that I started my business with $1,400. That was the amount I had in my bank account when I started my business. So yeah, funding will give you his funding is a badge of honor. Okay? A lot of people want to get funding, and they actually run the business to get funding rather than actually creating value. I mean, the initial years, okay? Most of the entrepreneurs want to make it fast these days. I mean, when I meet with people, trying to understand what they're trying to do, so they believe that a faster way to success is actually getting the funding. No. Faster way to get there is no faster way in my opinion. Actually, it's all about how you create the value and whom are you serving and how do they perceive your service or a product. So actual facts about bootstrapping is, if you actually see, I found some of these things, that actually only 1% of the companies are actually funded. So 99% of the companies that actually get started and actually grow into bigger companies are actually bootstrapped. That means they're all self-funded. And there is a survey done by the Kaufman Foundation, which is which supports entrepreneurship and all that. So it says that, in fact, pretty much all of the companies that were part of this fastest growing companies in the top, Inc. 500 are actually bootstrapped, not really funded. So what are the benefits of bootstrapping? So, if you bootstrap yourself, yes, you can have the control, as well as there is no other choice, but you have to do the right thing. That means you have to stay in the business, so you better do the right thing. So what will actually keep us in the business? You need to have, recurring income and make sure that, you keep your lights on. So, one second. So what did I do? Okay. So this was in 2003, and what was that?
More than 95% startups fail, and you are saying that bootstrapping will definitely lead to success.
No, there is a failure on both sides. Okay, we'll come back to the discussion later. Let me finish I'll try to finish in 15 minutes, then we can have the interaction session. Okay. So I'm not guaranteeing anything, by the way. Okay, I'm just sharing my story. Okay, so what did I do? So this is my journey. So what I did is, for the to save time, I've just put all the points up, okay? So I started with a capital of $1,400, and then basically I started an IT consulting firm back in 2003 when I've decided that probably that'll be my last and best shot for the entrepreneurship because I failed 3 times before. So worked from a friend's room, and then I've told my wife I'm not going to bring any money for the next 1 year. So she was working in a small job and supported the family. And then what I've realized is within 3 to 4 months, I have to earn enough money so that at least I can keep my business going. So what I did, I actually, because of my prior relationships, I put some senior consultants. I found them some contract jobs and started billing them. So I have built some operating income. And then I am not a technical guy, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I've mostly worked in sales, accounting, customer service, actually as a solar photovoltaics design development engineer and installing power plants and all that. So I have no idea what's IT. So I actually hired a technology guy, then I actually made him a partner so that I don't have to pay him. And then he was actually doing all the technical work, screening, and trying to talk to the clients, understand what they want. And then we started putting some high-end consultants. A lot of people were doing this business. Not that, I was the only one. But we are trying to figure out what are the hot technologies at that point. Okay, so I used to do some research in LinkedIn, or LinkedIn was new those days, and we're trying to figure out where are these small number of consultants that I can catch. And then I used to attend the forums, the new technologies, whatever the seminars that were happening, trying to meet people and figure out a way to actually put these senior IT professionals with the clients that are looking to employ them. So that's how I started my business, and this technology guy was helping. But just to let you know, it's just not about just picking up somebody and making him a partner. This guy was a brilliant guy. He was a gate topper in India, and then he was an IASC graduate. He went on to become CTO of my company. Actually, went on to become CTO of the company that acquired my company, much larger company. So then, of course, we picked one particular technology, like what Srini was saying. We identified a pain point. We associated with one of the largest player in the market. I will have the question and answers once we are done. Okay, you can write down. So we became partners for HP Professional Services. We actually developed an IP solutions where we had an exclusive global agreement with HP. So we were solving one particular problem. Actually, I was billing about $50 per hour in India and $2,000 per day in US. And in UK, I was charging $2,500 per day, 2,500 pounds per day. So what I'm saying is, when I'm providing that value, people don't bother about the money that they pay. I actually developed an IP solution that can actually convert a legacy platform scripts to a newer platform. How did we identify the pain point? We went around, met people, talked to the clients, wherever my people were working, understood that, then got back to my guy and asked him, can he develop that? And when he built something similar to what we actually made in the, at a later point, actually the client, the HP was so excited and actually started helping us. In fact, most of the times we have the fear of, when a client, we're meeting the client or want some client to buy our product, we think that they're at a different level. Please trust me, they might have more problems than what you see at us in smaller companies. So what we built was creating tremendous value for this HP, and they actually took us to pretty much most of their clients. In fact, when our product was first, when we did the demo first time, so HP was actually arranging a webinar, and their capacity was 400 people to log in and actually be on the GoToMeeting. So they had to actually readjust their capacity 3 times because about 900 people turned up in the first demo because we were really addressing a biggest pain point. Okay? So, thank you. So that's how we built our automation expertise, and then we started signing up because of our, the name we built by 2009. Within 6 years, we started signing up multi-year, multi-million dollar engagements. So we have signed up where people were going like in numbers of 40, 50, and completely doing the automation testing of a particular departments. And that's how, by 2009, we have realized when I started signing those contracts, I had a business which I had to build because I have to keep my lights on. So I removed all the non-core business and I sold it in 2009 and kept the focus on the automation testing core area. And then we further built the business because we have no distractions. And by 2013, we got acquired. And the company that acquired us actually went on to become the third largest company in the world in testing. Okay? So they bought us because of the value, the credibility, the relationships we had, the partnerships we had. And that's how we exited in 2013. So the factors that helped, I just wanted to make sure that I start a business that will pay me quickly. So that's how I got into consulting. So I was basically trying to be an entrepreneur. And then I figured out what is the value and whom we want to be known for. And branding is something that we actually very intensely worked on, actually. So at some point, people really, in fact, the company that acquired us tried to merge our company into their larger setup. They could not merge it because client knew us as Gallup, nothing else. Okay. So that says something about the branding. And then, of course, initially I didn't have enough credit report or whatever you call it, track record. When I suddenly engage about 12 people to go and work for Oracle, I need to pay them like $150,000 next month, whereas my bills will come after 2 months or 3 months, because it takes 60 to 90 days to get paid. So what I did, I had a lot of friends, so I came up with a model where everybody paid me about $25,000. I put a 90-day cycle. They used to get about 2% or 3% in the money market accounts per year. I told them I'll pay 6% because my bank was charging 8%. So I actually ran a $300,000 credit line without actually having to go to the bank. And I made sure that whenever that 90 days period came, I paid off the first guy. And then I had a cycle. So at some point of time, in fact, I was almost running a small lending institution, or rather, paying interest for the small investors. Okay, so that's how I did it. And then I made sure that, let's say, as per my calculations, because a lot of times money is in the circulation. It is with the clients. It is somewhere. So there's no way you can actually capture and realize the profit. So what I would do, every month, I would make a cash flow statement. And of course, the CTO, who is a brilliant guy, who is also a great financial mind. So he used to do all those Excel sheets for me. So in that particular month, let's say, actually every quarter we used to do. In that particular quarter, let's say we made about $600,000. I always made sure that 2/3 of that actually is taken out. We would figure out a way to take out that money. If need be, we will again go to the bank and take the credit line, take that money out and put it as a FD, because that is our net profit. There is no way I can otherwise. It is always in the cycle. So we took out that money and then again took the loan back from that money. If I have taken, let's say, if I have deposited that at 3%, I can take a loan, 90% of that. In fact, in US, they'll give you 100% of the money. Of course, they're still safe. Yeah, then again, now it isn't 100%? Okay. So we took out the money, still leveraged that money, this thing, okay? Because at any point I knew that, let's say $1.2 million is kept aside as a profit that I can always use. And that we actually invested into that product development, what we built in 2008 and 9. Okay? Because we just wanted to make sure that we knew how much money we were making. That 1/3 we actually left it as a, what you call backup or a cushion. Then we maintained books well so that we can present it to the banks, and we started getting the credit lines based on that. But I can tell you, fortunately, we didn't have to use too much of those credit lines. And the operating income was actually helping us to run. And then we kept the cost low, and my CTO was my CFO, who's a brilliant guy and who kept the cost low. Otherwise, If I would have been running the finance, I would have bankrupted the company. Okay? So then the three most important things that I believe personally to help bootstrap or even make a company succeed is we need to have a purpose why we are doing that. It's not just, purpose is not just the money. What do you want to do with that money or the financial freedom? So if you know that very clearly and you have figured out what you want to do, and you should believe that you would do that when you get the money, then I think that will definitely help you to drive on a day-to-day basis. And then you should definitely have a very strong supporting spouse and family. Whoever you have to make sure they buy into your story or your effort, and they have to believe that you are really committed for this. And then, of course, you should have faith in yourself and in the business that you're doing. So that should help. So for that business, I can tell you, I actually started with $1,400 investment in 2003. In 10 years, each dollar brought about $10,000. Okay, so that's my journey. Okay, just want to let you know it all works. Okay, and congratulations all of you that you all probably want to be entrepreneurs or already entrepreneurs. So the journey is worthwhile. So I'll leave that this session for question and answers, please. No, I got that. Yeah. So how did my partner agree to become my partner? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I am also looking for a technology partner.
Okay.
I work with handloom weavers and I'm looking for a technology partner, so that would help me.
Sure. First of all, my partner is a brilliant technology guy, but is not a relationship guy or a sales guy or somebody who can bring the business. So he understood or believed that I am somebody that can complement the rest of the things, so we both can become one, what I would call, well-rounded team to make that, company succeed. So that's one. Second, he also believed that I am honest and I can give the money that I promised or whatever. Yeah, so because a lot of times you can promise and still get away with it. What is that? In terms of stock and what I mean to say, okay? So, whatever. So that's the one. And of course, it's the relationship and the comfort level. So, and interestingly, another thing I also would like to point here. Most of the times, partnerships fail because we all start with a good intent and a lot of energy and all that. Let's say you have two partners, each of you own 50%. In no year, you both will contribute 50% each, okay? Because as the company progresses and as things evolve, each year will be very different and one partner will contribute more than the other partner. So that should not lead to egos or inferiority where, that's where, people fight and say that I have done so much and that this guy has not done it, why should I give this much 50% partnership? So you should actually give enough space because you believe that you both will be together to begin with. So there has to be some kind of, marriage or a trust or a faith, okay? And you should also enable the other person to, contribute enough. If you decide that the other person cannot contribute, you will never believe or even perceive his value later. Just an observation, because a lot of people ask me, how did we both got together and we're still partners. I started another company, and it's been a year, and again we bootstrapped, by the way. We are about $5 million company in the first year. Okay? So. Failure? Yes. See, a lot of times, this is what I understand, is that when we start doing something well, we assume that we can do everything well. And most of the times, even when I talk to the young entrepreneurs who just started the business, they want to do too many things. So the recipe for success is focus and doing one thing really, really well. And if that is streamlined, then probably having whatever the rest. Otherwise, I don't think, anybody will be able to succeed, okay? And keep things very simple. A lot of times we complicate things, use a lot of jargon, come up with a lot of, formats and sheets and projections. Actually, there is no projection till date that has come true. Okay, so we all have to have whatever you call the target, but the things will be very different when you take the journey.
So, can you talk about any challenges that you faced during your journey, and what did you learn from that challenge, which helped you? Really
A lot
be
of them, if you
successful?
can just, I mean, every entrepreneur will have a lot of challenges for sure. Okay, so the biggest challenge will be the uncertainty on a daily basis. Okay, you don't know what happens next, and till you stabilize and at least pay for yourself where your family runs, and you know that you don't have to worry about the next month paycheck even from your own business. So rest is all uncertainty, and a lot of times it's about what to do, whether the business will come, or what investments to make, because especially the first time entrepreneurs I'm talking about. If you ask me about an experience, personally, I had a lot of challenge in even understanding what this IT environment is about. Okay, so what I did is I always had friends, and of course I made sure that I reached out to somebody and took their help to understand those situations. And later I figured out a way, whenever somebody is talking, too technical or a lot of jargon. As much as we have built IP, we were a technology company and all of that, I would tell them that I am here to only entertain you, and I have people who can talk to you, for whenever you're ready to discuss the technical things. Okay, so, but that doesn't mean that I don't know anything about this thing. I understand the purpose. I may not know the means and the works behind those technology. Okay? So.
One last question, Manohar.
Yeah, please.
It's a trade-off here. Suppose you bootstrap. There's a struggle, and sometimes you may not be able to pay your guys, and you may not have enough funds for promotion.
Sure.
But you are you have the financial independence, so that's good. On the other hand, if you get funding, you have enough money to take your company to a higher level through promotions, etc., and you don't have any problem of cash flows.
Sure.
So, I mean, at some time you have this trade-off in your mind that had you got funded, maybe you could have taken yourself at a higher level than at bootstrapping. So I just want you to clarify what would be the best mode. I know there are advantages, disadvantages, but still, of both sides.
I mean, there's nothing like getting others' money to do your business, okay? So I'm talking about a situation where you have to do your own bootstrapping, okay? But definitely, when you get others' money, you should definitely have enough restraint and discipline to make sure that you behave like that's your own money and then spend it on appropriate things, okay? So definitely, there are some businesses that need funding. Okay? So there are some businesses that cannot generate enough operating revenues to survive without the funding for a period of time, okay? So both are actually valid, in my opinion, as per the business case, and completely depends on the passion and, what I would call personality of the entrepreneur. So it's a choice, in my opinion, and I had to do this because I didn't have a choice, okay? So for my next venture, though we bootstrapped and I can afford a little bit, we will be going for funding, because the kind of IP that we are building, we need funding, not necessarily for the money, but for validation, so that we can take it to a right set of clients. Okay.
So, question from here.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
said you grew $1 to 10,000.
Okay.
So the question is, you had gone through this journey of the whole 10,000 times and exited. And I just want to know your experience and how you kept your balance when it grew to like 10 times or 20 times. What told you that don't exit now? And you kept on growing it till 10,000, not exiting it like 2,000 times or whatever. And why did you not continue to grow it 20,000 more? So how did you keep that balance? And you definitely have gone through that struggle from having seen the minus to plus and things like that, right? So if you could share your experience, that would be great.
Get any buyer at 2,000 or 100 or anything like that. So I only got a buyer when I exited. Okay. In fact, I didn't believe that they can actually buy me. Okay. So they have been asking me for a year. The good part is I know them before, and interestingly, all I shared was an Excel sheet. They didn't even have to do much of due diligence because they know my practices and how we run the company. So that helped me. So the decision about should I exit at that point or in future is definitely an interesting thing. I actually sold one company. It was of course a smaller exit in 2009. That is more to focus on the main business. So that was not considered in terms of what it will do with the finances. So, but when 2013, that exit would have helped me to actually capture the value. Because a lot of times when you run the companies, you can only take out some money. So whenever there is an exit, you can actually capture a good value. And I thought probably after running for 10 years, this company, so 2 reasons I have done this. One, it will give me a lot of stability and probably a break where I can actually go back and think what I should do next. And then, so basically I took a paper and did whatever the analysis about what I can do with that money. And then I realized probably it's the time to exit. So I did what I had to do, and I came back with another enterprise. Okay. Anything?
And if this is one thing that I have to focus on. But as you go along, like you've started on few different things, there are other things which are paying. Okay, and this one probably has a gestation period, longer gestation period. So what should you do? Should you focus on this one thing, or should you carry the other things along?
Depends on how much time it is taking for you and what you believe that that main function requires in terms of your attention, focus. Yeah. If other things are running and paying you some money, it should be okay. So, but why we had to segregate that and this thing, because the other one was actually taking away a lot of our time, and it was distracting us. So that's when I split the company and then sold the non-core business. Okay, so thank you, and thank you.